everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I am bringing you a discussion video. So I sat down and I had a long conversation with myself about how things like writing rules and storycraft and just overall reader expectations affect how I pleasure read as an author. And this is something that I really don't see writers or readers talking about, like when there's kind of this crossover when you like to do both. So I jotted some points down, I kind of outlined my overall ideas, but I really wanted to see how other authors felt about this because like I said, I had heard nobody talk about this, and like we're all readers, right? All authors have to start out as readers, so we all have to be affected by this in some way or another. So I went to Twitter and I asked the writing community how they view this. Lucia says, for me, I haven't been able to enjoy reading as much after having started to seriously write. I mean, I still read, but I start to overanalyze plot, character, world building, and foreshadowing. It has helped me improve my own writing, but it's becoming harder to enjoy a book. I feel like my thoughts on this like almost completely align with this. It's such a two-edged sword. On one part, I feel like I can study plot structure and I can know it much better. And when I read a book that has done just great character development where it really hits symbolism and theme on the head, I'm like, wow, I love this so much more than maybe if I hadn't have known that stuff and hadn't been able to appreciate it. But on the flip side, when there's not that great character development and there's not that great plot, or there's some kind of writer device like filters or setisms or something that's completely overused and just not good, I'm like, ooh, now I wish I hadn't have known what a setism or a filter was, because now all I see is the setisms and filters, and now I can't rate the book as high because it annoys me. Emma Sky Song says, for me, I think I'm better at identifying why a story doesn't work for me and putting it into words. Also, I'm quicker to abandon a story not working for me. Noticing cliches, overdone ideas, and guessing twists are more a symptom of me being an avid reader, in my opinion. So basically, this person's saying that being a writer now has made her more picky with the books that she reads, and I totally agree with that because I have always been a little bit more of a critical reader, but now that I know craft and I know what makes a good story good, I am like ultra picky, and it kind of sucks in a way because like I kind of miss the days where I could just pick up a crappy book and not know it's crappy and enjoy it for just like the pure ride, but now I'm like, okay, well the plot's good, but this character arc is like absolutely a mess, and you know, and I can't look past that. Avery Ames said, I find myself analyzing plot structure and pacing a lot when reading now, and filter words. They're my personal nemesis, so I'm super sensitive to them in other books. But yeah, definitely gotten much pickier after studying writing craft. I chose this comment because I thought it was so interesting. So in regards to like writing rules and craft rules, we have these ideas. Specifically, she talked about filters here, and filters are like words used to like literally distance yourself from the POV and what they're experiencing. For example, if it's raining and a character said he thought the rain was coming down hard, the thought part is the filter. You could just say the rain was coming down hard, and that makes you a little bit closer to the narration. That makes sense. I just thought this was such an interesting point that she brought up because, you know, it's absolutely stressed that filter words are the devil and the #1 cardinal sin of writing. Never use filters. But in reality, if you crack open a bestseller, I mean, like, probably if you opened any of the books on the, you know, New York Times bestseller list, they have filters, and some of them have a lot of filters. Leigh Bardugo uses so many filters. J.K. Rowling, her whole book is filters. And it's just, it's so funny that that is something that we're told not to do, but huge bestsellers do it anyway. And so when I'm reading this, that's all I notice. I'm like, why are they telling me this is a rule when these huge books are just like cover to cover filters? Like, yeah, that definitely goes like in the negative category because you get hung up on these little things that, like, when I was reading Harry Potter for the first time, I had no idea what a filter was. So J.K. Rowling said, Harry knew, blah, blah, blah. Didn't bother me at all. But now that I'm a writer and I know I'm not supposed to use filters, that's all I see when I read some books, which is kind of crappy because now I find myself critiquing Harry Potter when I'm reading it, when all I really want to do is escape. Emily Guyton Lang said, I found it really depends on what I'm doing with my writing. When I'm revising, I tend to notice more errors and see deliberate structural choices in what I'm reading. Also, I've noticed that sometimes the voice of a book creeps into what I'm writing, and I think that's so interesting because that's another thing that I experience, particularly when I'm reading a very voicey author's book. I will notice that my writing for that portion of the book that I'm reading, their book while I'm writing, will start to almost kind of sound like they're writing. So when I'm reading Strange the Dreamer, that section of my book will be so flowery and so poetic that when I'm in revisions, I'm like, okay, let's tone this down a little bit. So another comment is from MJB McGregor, and she says a lot of what we've already talked about how we wish that, you know, we could go back and read books without like the writer perspective, because then you would notice the flaws otherwise. But something that she points out that I thought was really great was the addition of plot twists, because oh my gosh, I cannot remember the last time I got taken by a plot twist, and I miss that. I miss that so bad. I miss not knowing what's gonna happen and like not intensely reading into the foreshadowing and picking things up. I'll give you an example from a book I just finished yesterday. I'm not gonna say what book because I don't want to spoil it for people that want to read it later, but there is like a murder mystery happening of sorts, and the main character has this relationship with this person, and it becomes very close and very intimate and very like a focal point of the story, so much so that as a writer I was able to look into that and be like, okay, why is so much time and attention spent on developing this relationship when there's a million other things that she could be doing? And in my head I'm like, obviously because the author is trying to build this relationship and make it seem like these two people have a great wonderful relationship, so when it turns out that one of them is actually the murderer, it's like devastating for the main character and supposedly devastating for the reader. And now that I know that that's a device that people use, I always catch the plot twist and it makes me mad. So the question is, has writing ruined my reading? And an answer, I don't think ruined is the right word. I think altered or changed would be a better word to put there, just because there are positives and negatives. I truly love some books more because I can appreciate them more, and I truly detest some books more because I cannot get past the setisms and filters and, by God, the M-dashes. So I want to know your opinions on this. Let me know down in the comments, has writing ruined your reading? Do you find that being a writer now has positively or negatively impacted how you pleasure read? Can you even pleasure read anymore, or has it had no effect whatsoever? Please let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!